Beautiful people. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra Ihesie. I'll first of all like to say a huge thank you to those of you that have seen my previous videos, and if you're here to check them out, please don't forget to do so. And also, if this is your first time stopping here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you're a regular viewer still yet to subscribe, don't forget to hit the subscribe tag as well. And I hope you've been enjoying my videos so far. Thank you so much for sticking with me. So before we jump right into today's video, I would like to put out a disclaimer. This video might be somewhat sensitive and also triggering for a lot of people, or maybe some people. I just really think it's fair that I give everyone the heads up, before we jump right into the topic. All right, thank you. So today we are speaking on psychological manipulation. Maybe some people might be familiar with that term and maybe others not as much. So I decided I would give a proper and concrete definition of what the term means. I mean, I didn't coin the term, so I feel the need to give like a proper standardized definition of what psychological manipulation is. So I'm going to be reading that for you. Psychological manipulation is a type of social influence that aims to change the behavior or perception of others through indirect, deceptive, or unhanded tactics. When the interest of the manipulator is being advanced at the cost of another, such can be considered to be exploitative, abusive, selfish, and deceptive. Because I like to speak basic English, in basic terms, psychological manipulation is when an individual intentionally puts someone else's emotional and mental state at harm's way just for their personal benefits. On a spectrum of manipulation, I do feel like, in one level or the other, when we are being selfish, there's a level of manipulation, but it's like a spectrum, from here to here. And these people might fall on the extreme end or towards there, and sometimes can be called narcissists as well. So I'm going to be sharing a few tips on how you can spot when a person is being psychologically manipulative, or if you are being psychologically manipulated. Okay, oftentimes when we hear manipulation, we think it's the big red sign that you can just see. It's not always the case. Actually, oftentimes it's not the case, and that's why people fall into this trap, and that's why you see so many people entangled in this, and you're like, how did you get yourself in here? That's because it's not as obvious as we might think it is. So I'm going to be sharing also subtle things that you should look out for that might not be aggressive but very passive. The first thing is something we call the home court advantage. This is simply when a person insists or persists that you meet them at a space in which they can assert a level of dominance and control over you, because they know that you're not familiar with that space. They know you're not familiar in that setting. So what they do is that they bring you in there when they know they have more control, they have more power in the situation and context. So that's definitely something I would say you should look out for. Might be very subtle, but keep your ears very sharp, because people are really out here to just get their way. Another very subtle one, but something very interesting and also you should pay attention to, is when a person constantly allows you to speak first. There is nothing wrong with being polite, and I do love when people speak first, because I also want to give them a chance, and I sometimes don't want their thinking to be clouded by my own opinion. If I do feel like I am more vast in that space, sometimes I like people to be critical. But when a person does this in the sense that they are trying to pinpoint your weaknesses and look for loopholes in your words, because that's the only way a manipulator can get into your mind. That's the only way they can know the type of person you are. That's the only way they can find out about your strengths and your weaknesses. They let you speak and they begin to look for those loopholes there. And how can you know this? One tip I would say is when a person constantly give answers that are contradictory to what you're saying, especially if you know that your answer is right on track, or what you have said or expressed yourself in the way that you know how is how you feel, but you're constantly looking for ways to just make it seem like what you're saying isn't enough. That's definitely something you should look out for when spotting a manipulative person. Another thing I would say is manipulation of facts and realities. In reality, when a person is constantly lying, giving excuses, victim blaming you, strategically withholding vital information that can influence your judgment and your decision. When people just lie, especially with things that are very concrete and clear, perhaps the person said yes, and in the next hour or two they're saying no, and they tell you blatantly, like, dude, no, I said no, knowing they clearly said yes, and that can definitely distort your reality. And I think there's a term for it called gaslighting, when a person tries to just make it seem like you're crazy, but you're not, because you heard what you heard clearly. And now it's like, no, you didn't hear that, because there is no way in hell the person will boldly come out and say, I didn't say that, if they actually said that. So that distorts your reality, and they try to victim blame you and make it seem like it's your fault why they're acting a certain type of way. It's your fault why they're treating you a certain type of way. And also when the person withholds vital information that can influence your decision. For example, maybe if you're trying to get into a romantic relationship with someone and they don't tell you that they're married or have kids, that's a vital information that can definitely, I believe, would influence your judgment if you want to go ahead or you want to put a halt to that relationship. And this can also be in like workspaces, when people don't come out fully with a contract, or where they try to like just withhold vital information, or put in words that they know might be seeming that might seem confusing to you. So that's definitely something you should look out for if you're trying to spot a manipulative person. Another one is intellectual bullying. This one is such an interesting one, because now social media has made everyone seem as a professional in every field, and we see so many people that are vast and knowledgeable in so many fields, and we feel like, oh my gosh, they know it all. And when you meet a manipulative person that also possesses this intellectual bullying skill, what they do is that they oftentimes speak on issues that they know they are more vast and knowledgeable in. So they want to make it seem like they are superior to you because they know it more. And they won't speak on topic that they know you are knowledgeable at. Absolutely not. They will speak on what makes them shine, what makes them feel like they know it all. And please don't be fooled when people seem clever or smart. Yes, they might be knowledgeable and they might know the facts and statistics, but doesn't make them decent people, because that doesn't determine the condition of their heart, nor does it determine the condition of their mind. So don't be fooled, don't be carried away by those things. But that's definitely something you should look out for when a person is constantly talking about topics that they know they will shine at and never giving you a chance. Another one is giving you little or no time to make a decision. Maybe sometimes you find yourself in a space where you go, I don't know why I did this, and when you look back, you see that this person put so much pressure on you to make a decision right there and right now, at that given moment, and you couldn't really sit down to reflect and think of the decision you wanted to make, or think of the choice you were going to take, because they would put so much pressure on you. And that's what manipulative people do. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be on the spot, but it can just be a decision that you're constantly reminding you of, never giving you enough room to think. It's almost as though you have to do it right now, especially when it's something that you need more time for, and they don't just let you have that time. And someone might be like, how won't someone let you have time? But when you care so much about someone, or when you have a job at stake, whatever the case might be, a family member, you're trying to also make them feel happy, you're trying to please them. So you oftentimes make decisions that you don't want to take, but because they're constantly in your ears reminding you how you need to make that decision right now, and most times it's actually for their benefit. And they will do that when they know they are asking a huge favor, or they're asking something huge from you. Another one is negative humor. When the person is constantly throwing jabs at you, like, for maybe, let's say, cooking is not your strongest point, and the person constantly goes, so are we going to eat that salty foods today? Things like, when a person is constantly pinpointing your weaknesses, knowing those things you don't shine at, and those are the things they want to speak about, those are the things they want to make jokes on, because, oh my gosh, I'm just joking. And I don't understand, like, sometimes jokes can have like the element of like painful truths to it, but when the person is constantly trying to remind you of your weaknesses, of your shortcomings, then that should be questionable, I would say. And also, what manipulative people do is that they oftentimes try to find fault in you just to make themselves feel better, because they know that they're not all that. They know that they're sad. So what they would do is that they would look for things that can make them feel better about themselves, and they're going to pull you down to their level, especially times where you also try to speak on how they've hurt your feelings, how their words and actions have affected you, or try to correct them on certain things. They'll begin to they'll begin to look for fault and remind you of what you did 2 weeks ago, or remind you of your weaknesses, just so you guys can level up and perhaps come to saying, okay, I'm also sorry, like, oh, we're both wrong, so let's come together and say we're sorry. But in your heart, you haven't really you don't feel satisfied, you don't feel fully heard, because your complaints have been shut down and you feel so disarmed. So be careful and look out for that as well. This is such a key one when it comes to manipulators. If a manipulator doesn't use this trick, then I'm not sure. The silent treatment. Silent treatment is such a huge one, because you know when you care about someone or you have something at stake as a job or whatever the case might be, you want to ensure that you're in good terms with the person, especially if you're someone that don't allow your ego and pride get in the way. So what do? You perhaps like stretch your arms and lay an apology, or you try to make things easy and make everyone be at peace. So you go out there, you try to reach out to the person, but this person gives you the silent treatment, and that kind of way to speak on the power dynamics. This kind of puts you lower, because it's as though you're the person begging to speak to this person, and they're not willing to give you their attention, especially when they've even done something wrong, but because you care about them, or because you care about your job, whatever it is that you think is at stake, because you care so much about it, you reach out to them and they give you the silent treatment. You end up apologizing, you end up begging, and you end up asking for forgiveness, even if you know you've done nothing wrong. So that's definitely something you should be careful about. It's a trap that one can easily fall into, especially if you're an empath and you just want things to be nice and easy, which brings me to my other point of guilt bait. Manipulators use this a lot, guilt bait. They tell you all the horrible things that are going on in their lives, and how, you know, if you leave them, how they won't survive, how you're the reason why they stopped drinking, you're the reason why they stopped smoking, you're the reason why their company has grown this much. Please don't leave me. If you leave me, I won't be able to function. I really appreciate you. I know sometimes A B B C D D D D da 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 da. They tell you all of those things. And if you're a very empathetic person, or you consider yourself an empath, you know, or you're an empath, you know, it's easy for you to get trapped there, because you feel pity for them. You feel, oh my goodness, you know, and even when you're so angry at them, but because of that side of you that is just empathetic towards people, you give back in. But you know, it's very important for us to learn boundaries, and in as much as we care for people or care for whatever it is we might lose, you know, don't be afraid to say goodbye when you see it's putting your mental and emotional state at harm. You know, and also just the last one to add there, pretend ignorance. When a person lies or pretend that they don't remember what they just said 2 seconds ago, you know, when you speak on an issue, they're like, oh, did I say that? Oh, okay, I don't remember. Or when you tell them how they made you feel, and they say, oh, I never knew I did anything like that. Just pretend ignorance. When people just try to play dumb, like don't even, you know, don't you dare do that to me. But yeah, I really hope this video has been very, very helpful. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me if you've ever been in such a position where you felt highly manipulated, or if you've ever been the person manipulated and you feel like, you know what, I'm ready to repent, I'm ready to turn my life around. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and also subscribe to my channel if you're still yet to subscribe. And until next time, bye.